Hi, my name is Janie Edel, and I'm going to be debating for disabilities. So the question states, should students with disabilities who have physically attacked and injured a teacher be up for expulsion from school, even if the attack was a direct manifestation of the disability? And no, I do not think that they should. Mental disabilities are common, and I believe that everyone is somewhere in the spectrum. This is why I believe that we can sympathize with people who are farther down the spectrum than us. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 8 people are affected badly enough they or the people around them have sought out a diagnosis. Many people on the spectrum are affected differently by their neural makeup. External factors play a big role in neurodivergent people and how they feel and act towards people around them. Neurodivergent brains are altered in a way that makes them incapable of making certain decisions. I believe that everyone should have the best chance of living a normal life. In certain situations, people with mental disabilities cannot physically or mentally control themselves. I believe that neurodivergent individuals hurt other people or who hurt other people is not something that they can control. I do believe that procedures can be put in place to help individuals and make an altogether safer environment. Think about it. If you feel How would you feel if someone that you loved and cared for deeply was not getting their needs met and suffered repercussions because of it? The person you see at home is described as someone completely different than they are at school. Would you be okay with their surroundings being a trigger for their behavior? Would you be okay with them being kicked out of school and suffering even more hardships than they already face because of their disability? According to the U.S. Department of Education, compared to children and students without disabilities, children and students with disabilities experience higher rates of mental health challenges, more anxiety, depression, and academic-related distress, higher rates of suicide and suicide attempts, and non-suicidal self-injury, and greater peer victimization. Special needs students already face enough challenges, but kicking them out of school does not only help, or does not only not help, it can make their mental state much worse. You may be wondering, what rights do these students have? Well, according to the NASP and the National Association of School Psychologists, IDEA safeguards were designed to ensure students with disability were not removed from their parent-approved program without consent and were guaranteed free appropriate public education within their least restrictive environment. That's a lot of jumbled up words. You may be wondering, what does this mean? Basically, it's holding the school responsible that they took all the steps in order to help the child. The school will review the altercation and come up with a plan that involves parental consent. The school must look into the the causes, and find the best placement for the student. The placement that the student will be in must be in their least restrictive environment. There is going to be a manifestation review. When the student's IEP is being reviewed, there will be a manifestation review of where the child's behavior came from. This will determine if behavior is a manifestation of their disability, meaning the child was capable of telling what is right or wrong. The review must also include the analysis of the child's program as well as the child's physical, cognitive, developmental, mental, and emotional challenges. According to the NASP, when it is dangerous behavior, when the dangerous behavior is a result of the disability, expulsion is an inappropriate action. A child, however, can be placed somewhere different when the child's IEP is determined that does not meet the student's behavioral needs. The student's IEP may need to be modified, and if necessary, their placement can be changed to accommodate the student's needs, but the student will not be expelled. And you may think, what kind of environment changes could help these students? And how are we going to figure those out? The best way to deal with behavior um, is to figure out what's going to be triggering the students. These triggers are different for all students because they're all students are neurodiverse. Their brains work differently and they will not all react to the same triggers. Since students um, since every student is different, accommodations need to be catered to each individual student. Students may also process pain differently, and students with autism may experience hyperstasis, where it becomes uncomfortable to hear certain volumes. Many autistic students feel pain they feel pain with sound, where neurotypical students may not be bothered. An effective way of doing this is to see if students need to provide accommodations to them. Maybe if a student with autism is covering their ears during the day, maybe giving them a pair of noise canceling headphones or earmuffs put over their ears. Also, having times where you have those children in a quiet area and they know where to go to get those accommodations or how to ask for them, whether this be a chart on the wall that they can point to if they need to go to their quiet space. Because some autistic students also have a hard time communicating. Um, and you may think to yourself, have you ever been in pain and have reacted a certain way you regret doing? Have you ever been in pain and lashed out at someone or hit someone? Some of you may be thinking of situations you've been in, especially if you have siblings. From my experience, I have regretted actions and have done, um, and I have done because of how I process pain. There has been, I have two older sisters, and two younger brothers. And for the case with my brother, he has made fun of me, and there has been times where I have hit him for how I processed that pain. That pain, it made me feel really bad, and I would hit him and make me feel better. Um, Now looking back, we definitely did not process our pain the right way. Um, if we were taught to be respectful of others and have our physical and emotional well-being met, there would be less physical altercations. If we had an environment to and understand and communicate, we'd be much more emotionally healthy and violent outbursts would have been reduced. This is something that may seem pretty simple, but looking back, it really does help me think about the students that are on the spectrum or on farther spectrum than I am and how I can help them by relating my personal experiences to how they are experiencing their pain. You may think that when a student has a violent outburst, that removing them from the school may be the best option because they're gone. There's no, um, that problem is gone. There's no other way to fix it. Just the absence is going to be the best thing for the school district. And they may think it's the best thing for the student. But according to the National Association of School Psychologists, research shows that when education is disrupted by long absences, such as expulsion, the likelihood of dropping out increases dramatically, and that children with special needs are more likely to drop out and never complete a diploma, to remain unemployed and economically dependent. That seems like a lot to decompose there. Um, in my idea of education, I feel like the school system was created in order to help um, students become active members of society. When looking at this statement, it says whenever they do expel students and they take them out of long absences, such as expulsion, it um, students with disabilities remain unemployed and economically dependent. So this means that not only are they not becoming active members of society, they are um, their needs were definitely not being met. And by not expelling these students, they are able to um, have those healthy boundaries that they need in order to become that person. It's I feel like whenever we expel those students, we are putting restraints on them, and we are not allowing them to be the people that they were meant to be, the people they could be that they could be. Um, the purpose. Wait, where are we at? When we discipline these students, we are not only failing to provide them with education. Um, I kind of already went over that again. Sorry, guys. I hope you guys have a different perspective on expelling students whenever their disability is a manifest or whenever their actions are a manifestation of their disability. I definitely had to really work out the wording of that question because if it is not a manifestation of their disability, there could be other repercussions. I definitely see that side. But when it's a manifestation of their disability, they need more help. They don't need punishment. They need more help to become a more active member of society. So I hope you guys learned a lot, and I'm excited to see what everyone else has to say.